English Teacher, Part 124, Deductive and Inductive Reasoning. Generalization rule. Generalization rule. In deductive, it is the identification of example A, example B, example C, etc. In inductive reasoning, it is the classification of example A, example B, and example C. In deductive process, classification of examples. In inductive reasoning, perception of example A, example B, example C. In deductive reasoning process and inductive, there is inductive reasoning. Well, there are a few instructions. Establish set for determining what constitutes, say, a fish. Have a list on the whiteboard examples for creatures that live in aquatic habitats. Have students subdivide the list into groups by identifying critical or non-critical attributes of the creatures listed. Ask for other examples of each group. Ask for non-examples of each group. Have students names the groups identified. Help student define the term fish, including and relating the attributes. Provide a list of examples and non-examples of fish for students to distinguish. Have them explain devices. Check for understanding by asking questions or testing. Inductive reasoning. The inductive reasoning process begins with identifying a number of particular examples and non-examples, analyzing, classifying them, then framing a concept or generalizing based on them. Promoting inductive reasoning. To encourage students to form a concept through inductive reasoning, by reasoning from particular instances to a general conclusion, you might use the following steps. Establish set for determining what constitutes, say, a mammal. Ask for one example of a mammal and write correct response on the whiteboard. Ask for attributes of the mammal selected and list correct responses below the mammal's name. Repeat the last two steps several times to provide a number of examples. Ask for names and creatures that are not mammals and list correct responses. Ask for attributes of creatures that are not mammals and list correct responses. Using the material recorded on the whiteboard, have students compare and relate attributes to distinguish and critical attributes from the non-critical incidental attributes. Ask students to define the term mammals. Provide a list of creatures for several small groups and ask groups to use research resources to determine which creatures are mammals by applying the definition framed by the class. Debrief your class when research is complete and have them confirm or reframe their definition, drawing attention to examples and their relation to one another. Deductive or inductive reasoning. That's the question. In planning to teach a topic that calls for close logical reasoning, you will have to decide whether to approach your lesson through deductive or inductive reasoning. Your choices will help you determine what strategies you will use. Direct and explicit instructions, lecture, inquiry, small group problem solving are the methods often used in teaching deductive and inductive reasonings. You may find that some methods seem particularly applicable to teaching one or the other approach, whereas others may lend themselves equally to both processes. Both deductive and inductive reasonings provide valuable approaches.